Hello everybody and welcome back to the Athlete Podcast. Today we are joined by Amelie Brooks, who is a English tennis player competing in like all the British tournaments, ITFs, things like that. We're going to be talking a little bit about the mechanics of tennis, what goes on behind the scenes, nutrition, etc., etc. But I think we'll start with where you started. How did you get into the sport? What drove you to pick it up?
So I started around like age 4 or 5. My mum's side of the family, like background in tennis, she played as a junior.
Yeah.
And apparently I was just running around a lot as a kid, and the solution was to put a racket in my hand, and I kind of just fell in love with it.
Give the child a weapon.
Give the child a weapon. Yeah, and I just fell in love with it from there, and still going with it. So. Brilliant.
And so what? We did talk about it a little bit before. You said that you started training at like a David Lloyd's leisure centre.
Yeah.
And so what does the start of training look like? You know, if I were to pick up a racket, maybe it might be a little bit easier talking about in my shoes, because obviously I've got all my motor skills and things like that, whereas a 4-year-old doesn't. So if someone were coming into sport a little bit later, what would be like the first thing that you'd teach them?
I think just the first thing would be like, what side are you more comfortable playing on? Are you right-handed, left-handed? Because it's not necessarily your strongest side, it's just what does your body like, how does your body react to holding a racket?
Yeah.
And then I think tennis can be picked up all ages, all abilities, so it's then just kind of depends on what you're looking to do. It's like, you're looking to learn how to play, you're just hitting the ball for fun. So yeah, I think when I started I think I maybe just had a little bit of natural talent, so it was like I could hit a backhand, forehand, but then you get into the...
What is a backhand?
A backhand, so a backhand is... I'm right-handed, so my forehands... You get... Some tennis players will have a one-handed backhand, but usually the way to separate
and that's when
them,
they like flick
the grip.
wrist.
Flip the grip. So
so they'll spin it like in their hand?
They don't really spin it, they'll just move it a little bit. Like, so forehand is... Not some people play double-handed both sides. But normally forehand's just your one hand on the grip at one time. Backhand, most people have two hands on the grip. So yeah, normally you think of it as a backhand is the back of your hand is going forwards. Forehand, your palm is going forwards. But everyone's different. Some people have two hands both sides, double-handed forehand, double-handed backhand. Some people have a single-handed backhand. So yeah, very varied.
Okay then. So it's a bit like orthodox and southpaw in boxing. You just kind of figure out what you're
it's just physical preference. It very rarely depends on if that shot is better. It's normally just what your body wants to do.
Because you can always work on it.
You can always change it. Some people will start with a single-handed backhand and realise they need to go to a double-handed, or vice versa. It's very rare that you get double-handed forehand, but when they do, they're always a bit awkward to play because you don't know what you're dealing with. But
a little bit more flexible as well. You can't put it to either side of them.
I mean,
there's
some players as well. Very rarely you see they can hit right-handed and left-handed, and it's like they'll serve right-handed on the right side of the court and left-handed on the left side of the court, and then you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do with this? So yeah, that's impressive, but that's like maybe like 2 players do that. So
in terms of competing and things like that, when did you first begin competing?
I think
how were you feeling when you first got into that more serious side of it?
I'd probably say, as a 5-year-old playing Red Bull tournaments, I don't have any memory of it, but nobody's properly taking it seriously at that age. It's just taking the kid to a tennis tournament because they're doing this sport that they're kind of good at, and they're competitive. Like, I'm a very competitive person, but then I probably didn't...
As you should be.
Would be a worry if I wasn't, but I think probably as I got to like 8, 9, that's when it kind of clicked that the competitivity in me was like, take this seriously now. Because it was like, at 8, 9 you're not thinking about a career, but at 8, 9 you're thinking, I like winning, and I like getting titles, and I like the feeling that comes from winning. And then it gets to like 13, 14, and then you're like, right, maybe this could turn into something. And then it's not just...
How does the training evolve over that like time,
it's hard to remember for me, but it's like when you're young you train a lot because technically you've got way more to work on.
Yeah.
You've got arguably more energy to keep going for longer. And then as you get to like my age, 17, 18, it kind of more turns into point practice.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to work on as much technically. It's more tactical work.
Yeah. Okay then. And so how does... I seem to remember from like high school, there was like this, obviously footballers, they train after school. It'd be the same with like basketball, things like that. Swimmers before school, we all knew that they were a bit loopy in the head for wanting to get up at that time and get into a pool. But, you know, what does the training schedule look like for someone that's in school and also competing?
I mean, when I was in school, I was very fortunate that my school were incredibly supportive with my tennis. They were very sporty. I mean, they were an academic school, but they were also a very sporty school, so they enjoyed the fact that I wanted to be playing tennis. And I mean, when I was in school, I was barely in school. They let me drop subjects. They let me come out early. So I'd probably, some days I'd do like 2 hours at school, and then my club was 10 minutes down the road from my school, so that made it very easy. I mean, some tennis players go online school from 10 years old.
Wow.
I wouldn't recommend that. I'm now online for my A-levels, which I think was good timing. It's like I experienced that school and that social aspect. Obviously lockdown, understood what it was like to be online, but there are kids that have been online since they were 10 years old, and honestly I don't think that's like amazing, because they lose out on social, but at the same time it's like they can attain social skills from tennis. So
And so in terms of like all the online learning and stuff, where do you go to complete your exams and things like that?
So for my A-level, I actually go back into my school to do it. So it's like you just choose a host centre, and fortunately my school were like, you can come back and do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It makes things easier.
Yeah, it makes things easier. Yeah.
Okay then. And so, in terms of like right now, you know, you're not too far past school age realistically, are you? But you're not in education anymore. You are focused full time on tennis, which, I mean, blessing or a curse, realistically, full time on tennis. It's an expensive sport, but also you need the time to be doing all your training and things like that. So in terms of like right now, what does your schedule look like? What does the tournament roster look like? What you know, what you're excited for?
Yeah, I mean, this year's kind of the year that I really want to start not taking it seriously, because I've always taken it seriously, but really expanding my opportunities and experiences. I really want to start travelling more, because ultimately that's one of the reasons why I play tennis, to visit new countries, meet new people. So I mean, actually leaving school to be full-time was, like you said, a blessing and a curse, because I had all this time, but then it went, I've got all this time, and then it's like, need to fill out this time. How do I fill this time? So it's like, annoyingly, throughout winter it's very difficult to arrange the right amount of training for my level, because of court availability. Nobody wants to train outdoors during winter. People who have gone to uni stopped playing because of injury. So for me it's been difficult, but then because of that difficulty I've actually decided that playing more tournaments is a bit of a solution, because there are these, like, they call them the UTRs. There'll be like week-long tournaments where you're guaranteed matches, you're guaranteed prize money, and they've like saved me. So it's like they kind of become a training week, because I can play, I get the court time,
and you get paid,
and I get paid. And
where are they typically? Where are they?
Well, the UK have a couple, but then it's like they're all over. Like, they have the Asian ones, they've got European, they've got American ones, they've got South America. So it's like, they're actually really good, because you go, you lose, you're still in, which you rarely get in tennis. So no, they've been like perfect to have, to like just rely on. It's like, if I can't arrange a training week, if I can go to one of those, it's actually better.
Fair enough. And what is your favourite country that you visited for a tournament?
Actually, I visited quite a few. It's going to sound really boring, but I actually love going to Scotland. Like, the people up there are so nice, and I just always have a good time up there. The weather's not always amazing, but the people up there are just so nice. A country out of the UK.
Scotland, man.
I know, but it's just the experiences I've had there. I really loved when I went to Montenegro. That was ages ago, but it was really nice there, and like
beautiful place.
Yeah, beautiful. And then Croatia as well. That was nice.
Again, another beautiful place.
But I've not actually. The first time I've been out of Europe was to go to Tunisia last year, and that was really cool as well. But yeah, I definitely want to start branching out of Europe. Like, I'd love to go to Australia.
And that's good for all the networking and things like that, and everything that comes around, you know.
Yeah.
How does the networking essentially help you? Other than obviously you meet different players and things, and you've got and in tennis it's not just an individual sport. There's also doubles and things. You might meet like a doubles partner that you want to play with. You're not really tied to your own country in tennis, are you? You're not.
I think with tennis, it's so different to a team sport. Like, yes, you have got the team elements to it. Like, you've got uni, you've got doubles, you've got representing your country. Yeah. But within all the team elements, it's still in a singles match. It's me, myself, and I. Yeah. Like, it's such an independent sport, especially for me. I travel by myself pretty much to everything because I can't afford a coach to come with me. However, as a girl, I have to try to travel with other players for safety and cost and everything. But then that is the other thing that comes with travelling, is you meet people so that you can travel with them. You can't be an introvert in tennis. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to hold your own, which I've definitely learnt to do because I grew up a massive introvert. And then I think the fact that I stayed in school helped me to develop like that understanding of, I'm going to need you to help me out so that I can help myself, which is definitely, as a woman especially, I mean, it's like guys will go through this too, with the cost and everything, but you go, like I say, I go to Tunisia, I can't go there by myself.
And so in terms of like the general, how would I say, you know, like the costing and things, you did mention a little bit about the cost of travel. Obviously, throughout the UK, everybody knows that the cost of travel is kind of unwieldy, probably is the word for it, because the trains are super expensive. Hotels can be super expensive too, and obviously it helps if you've got someone in those places or locations that can offer you a bed or a sofa or something for you to sleep on, and then you can return the favour if they're ever coming down your way too. And it's just like building these networks and things like that can be really beneficial to you early in your career especially. So let's pivot a little bit away from all the negatives, shall we say. Let's talk about the positives. So, you won the 2022 Junior ITF Singles tournament in Belfast. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, your expectations going into it. Then, you know, how you were feeling maybe midway through. You know, you probably dropped a few sets, but it's, you know, overall you've done really, really well. And then how did you feel in comparison to how you went in when you won, you know?
I remember, because it was 3 weeks of competing in Ireland, 3 different places. I went with 3 different people, so I didn't actually stay in Ireland I kept coming back to England because I was going with different people. So first week I went with one coach, second week I went out with my mum, third week I went with a different coach. So the first week was in Belfast and I ended up winning the singles there. And I went with a coach that I just always seemed to do pretty well with. Like, I just always had a good time with him, and every time he's come to a tournament I've either won it or played really well. And that was really nice to have him there. But yeah, I just remember going into, I don't think I had any expectations for it. I think I remember I think I was seeded to like quite high up in the list. So I was probably one of the stronger players, but sometimes being a stronger player isn't all that you want. Like, sometimes I quite like being the underdog because there's just no pressure at all. But I think I remember first couple rounds were fairly straightforward. I was playing okay, and then I think as it got to like the quarterfinal stage, that's when it kind of got like the opponents were getting tougher. And I think I remember my hardest match was actually in the semi-finals against another British girl, and it was a 3-set match in the pouring rain. So
not ideal then.
So we were playing on AstroTurf, which
gets very slippy.
Very fast. Basically, if you've hit a shot out of the middle of the court, you've won the point. And I remember there were puddles on the court, and I was complaining to the ref because we shouldn't be playing a match when there's puddles on the court. And he was like, well, I can't do anything about it. These matches need to be played. Keep playing. And I was like, oh, I can't believe this. Like, we was, 15, 16, we're at risk here. And then I remember the day before it like drizzled a little bit when the boys matches, and they were like, everyone stop, boys stop playing the drizzle. And I just remember saying that to everyone afterwards, like, it's just poor organisation. Yeah. But I think I remember coming through that match. I think it was also, I'd never beaten that girl before when I'd played her in Britain. Mm-hmm. And I think I remember coming through that match, having had to deal with the rain, the dangers of playing on the wet AstroTurf. I think I maybe lost the first set, and then I think I go back to like my resilience just got me through that. I think I was like, I'm actually playing good, and I wanted to win. Like, I knew I had a shot to win the title at that point. I think I remember coming through that match and just being like, oh, I got through it. Thank God, it's over.
Of course. Like, and you won.
Yeah, I won. Yeah, and then it was like, I'm off the court. I'm soaking wet because I've been playing in the rain. I can finally dry myself off. And then I think I remember, because I'd got through that match, I actually was like, I can chill in the final now. Yeah. And I actually ended up playing really well in the final against an Irish girl that was really good. Like, I thought it was going to be really close, but the fact that I was so chill because I got through that semi-final match was then like, I just played freely. And then I remember winning it and just like, yes, thank you.
So what's like your mentality going into any match then? You know, how do you prepare at least?
I mean, it's different. Obviously everyone goes into a match with the thought that they're going to win. Like, as humble as you can be as a tennis player, everyone is cocky. They have to be, because you have to, even if you fake it, you have to tell yourself you've got a chance to win. Even if you're playing, like, say if I went out and played number one player, I'm going to give it my best. Because also that's some tennis players that, like, they won't give it their best, but I physically don't know how to not give my best. Like, I can't go out onto a tennis court and not try, at least, because it's just the way I am. It's like, I'll be more annoyed with myself if I didn't try than like, it's actually sometimes losing a match but you put all the best you can in is better than winning a match and not playing your best. Like, the feeling you get, because it's like you just feel good in yourself. It's like, I always approach a match like, normally you try and scout your opponent. If you don't know them, you try and watch them play a bit. But if you don't know them, then you have to go in with, what are my strengths? How am I going to approach this match based on my tennis? Instead of what do I do against them? It's like, how can I actually implement my skills to get me through this match, because I don't know them.
Interesting. So is there a lot of tactical analysis that go, do you ever like, watch, do you do like a lot of watching your opponent? Because I assume you probably don't know who your opponent's going to be,
especially as I've started travelling more. I mean, in Britain you know them, like, you play the same person week in week out, and it actually gets really boring playing the same people. Because then you're just like, oh, they're just going to do this, and then actually sometimes you don't play as well because you know what's coming, because you're like thinking like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. But I actually prefer playing people I don't know, because it's like less expectation, and then I can play my tennis, because it's like, I mean, normally I'm quite good at like figuring out as the match goes on, like what their game is and what their weaknesses and strengths are. But it's like, if I'm at a tournament and they're playing a match and like my potential opponents are playing and I know I'm going to be playing the winner of this, I'll go and watch them. Just to even get, I don't like knowing, like, I won't watch the whole match, but I'll watch a little bit, just to get an idea of like, do they prefer forehand, backhand, are they right-handed, are they left-handed? I think, and then also it's like with the internet, pretty much every tennis player has a video of them playing tennis online. So if you can't see them in person, you just go and watch that.
And then, I mean, so do you do, I understand you don't really travel like with a certain coach or anything like that. And so there's not really like much, you wouldn't watch, there wouldn't be any sort of analysis that goes on like behind the scenes and things like that. But you're always sort of keeping an eye on them, right? You know.
Well, I mean,
especially the people like around you.
Around, and then it's like you also hit, like, again, that goes back to socials. My friends will tell me how someone's played if they've played them, but I don't know them. They'll tell me, they'll give me advice. Hopefully it's normally the right advice, they're not trying to set me up for failure. Normally it's like, if you know nothing about them, you'll figure it out within a game or two. If you don't know, and then if you still can't figure it out, fair play, they're too good.
Okay. Fair enough. So in terms of again, getting ready for competition, match, whatever it might be, what do you sort of like eat in the lead up to competing?
I mean, it also kind of depends. Like if I'm in a different country, it's like you gotta be kind of careful of what you eat. Like you gotta be. I mean, so many players come away with food poisoning from a tournament. It happens so much these days. But I tend to just like load up on the carbs, love pasta, rice, the safe foods. Like actually before a match I'd want to eat plain. Like I don't want to be eating heavy. Like I'll just have pesto pasta. I love sushi, but it's not the cheapest to come by.
No.
And I
do love sushi too.
Yeah, I love sushi, but I tried in lockdown. I tried to learn to make it, but it was actually quite
difficult. Is it?
It just took a while. Like once, because like cooking the rice took like an hour or something.
You can get them in. I think people have caught on to the fact that people want to do it at home now, so you can get it like in a packet. Yeah. And you just microwave.
So yeah, I think, but then it's like they only last the day. So I mean, I eat them quickly.
But they're not around for very long.
But then it's like at dinner time after playing a match, you want that protein, like meat and all of that, and then fruit and vegetable. It's like you got to get balanced diet. Like I wouldn't say I'm on a diet or anything. I just try to get all the right nutrition in. Make sure I'm balanced and I'm not eating the hard thing to do with tennis is you're just for me I'm just constantly hungry, so you want to make sure you're having a substantial meal and not snacking throughout the day. But then if you are snacking, it's like it has to be like dried mango or like dates or bananas or something like that.
Interesting. And so in terms of like day-to-day like training, what's like your go-to breakfast, lunch and dinner?
I mean normally for breakfast I have like yogurt and granola. If I've got time,
the Greek stuff
Greek stuff and then like honey, but then it's like if I've got time I'll make like scrambled egg, fried egg, and like I know scrambled egg and bacon and that's only if I've got time, and then if not I'll have like
overnight oats. You big on them?
I don't like overnight oats. I don't like the texture of it.
Okay. I can see that they're a bit goopy.
They're a bit goopy. I'd rather have like freshly made yogurt and granola.
Fair enough.
But then it's like I love fruit, but then it's like in England it's not in season all year round. That's kind of what I love going to like European countries is their fruit is always really good. And
they're like croissants and stuff.
I love a croissant. I love a croissant like that. Pretty if there's a croissant I'm having it for breakfast. Like I love croissants so much.
It's a staple. It's a staple, especially if you're in like Italy. It's a staple. And so, in terms of, I mean, croissant is a pretty good example. That's a bit of a treat, isn't it? In terms of like your treats, and a lot of people call them cheat meals. I don't really like to call them cheat meals because what you're cheating on. Like I feel like you'd be.
I think unless you're on a diet, it's not. You're not cheating anything. I think for me,
even if you're on a diet, you can't just eat. You need. I don't know. For me, at least, my brain would start doing backflips within about 5 days if I had no sweet treats.
I've definitely got a sweet tooth. Like you can't get away from it. I remember last year my best friend and I, we tried to do a month without chocolate. I don't think either of us lasted. I think we were telling each other we're not eating, but we were definitely eating behind
that's terrible.
I tried. I mean, say I have a day off from training or something, I won't go overboard, but I'll have a little bit. I'm the sort of person that it's like if I'm after dinner I need a sweet treat, even if it's fruit or something. I just need something to
cleanse the palate, right?
To cleanse the palate, finish off. Then I'm like, right, I'm done now. But it's like chocolate, sweets. It's like you can't live without it.
But when's a good time then? Generally, in your sport at least,
I'd say after dinner. Like once the day's done, if you know you haven't. Before a match, I won't have anything sweet or. I mean,
you don't want to crash, do you?
Yeah, you don't want to crash. I mean, some players actually will have sweets during a match, but I tend to prefer having like bananas or dried mango. I'd probably say the sweet thing like energy drinks. Sometimes those are because it's like you need those during. I try to have more electrolytes because they're a bit better for me than like a Lucozade or something. I think it's you can't cut it out completely.
No, absolutely not.
I'd be fooling myself if I went on here. It's like I eat healthy, and it's like I eat healthy, but you can't avoid the sweet stuff.
No, because you would go a little bit insane after a while, wouldn't you?
It's like you need that serotonin as well.
What I'm going to do is I want to talk about your racket a little bit.
Okay.
But would you mind just going and grabbing it?
Yeah.
Because I'm. Is it in here?
No, I left it
okay,
out,
yeah. Because I want to talk about the physical bits and whatnot. Wow.
The racket.
This is the racket. So, what have we got here then? We've got a Yonex.
We have a Yonex V-Core racket.
A Yonex V-Core racket.
Yeah, so this is my go-to racket. I'm sponsored by Yonex. I'm very grateful to be sponsored by them.
Yeah.
They've supported me throughout pretty much my whole tennis journey. They recently brought out this colourway. Can you see it?
Could you just hold it like... Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, they recently brought out this like sand beigey colour.
It's quite nice.
It's very. It used to be reds and like a little bit of blue.
Yeah.
But when they showed me the racket before they released it, and I was just like, I like this colour a lot. Yeah. It's just very nice colour, like
calming almost.
Yeah, it's quite calming actually. And it's just quite professional, I think. Whereas the red was kind of in your face.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, no, there's this, and you got like the vibration dampener and grip and everything.
So that's a vibration. What does it do then? And do you ever accidentally like whack that on?
I've never noticed that the balls hit that.
Yeah.
It probably has, but I think because it's so, hopefully my timing on getting the ball hit. But yeah, so for me, vibration damps, I kind of just use it because I don't like the sound of the ball hitting the racket without having it.
Oh, really?
It changes the sound, but some people use a vibration dampener because you're less likely to get arm injuries, wrist injuries, because it just controls the strings a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it doesn't make a massive difference if you don't use it or anything.
You're not. I know that you're not massive on like the way your rackets are strong, but some people, they're big.
Some people are very big. I'm like, I can go a string's a string, ball's a ball, racket's a racket.
Let's just play tennis, guys.
Yonex is best. Like if you can play tennis, you can play with anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my strings, I have a set tension, but like sometimes I'll go into a match having like, if I've used a racket, the string is going to go down in tension.
Yeah.
But sometimes I prefer that because then I get more pace on the ball. But if my string is tighter, I'll have more control. I know like a lot of the pros, they change their tension based on the court surface and like the weather and everything, but I haven't got to that point of fully I haven't travelled enough to understand how that would affect me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just go with what I know, and then if I need to change it, I'll change it. But
what about the weight then? Because I held this before, right? And I don't know if you saw me holding it, but I held it, and then I was like kind of amazed by like it was like a feather in my hand.
Yeah.
And then I got the racket in one hand. I held it in the middle because so it wouldn't be weighing it, pulling me down. And then I got my phone.
Yeah.
And I started just like doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, my phone is like double the weight of this racket. Yeah, it was crazy to me.
This one's 305 grams.
Yeah, that's
light.
Very, very light, extremely light.
I'd probably say that's pretty average weight for what players use. I know guys will probably use heavier. Yeah. The head size of this racket is 98 inches.
Does it change very much, or is there like a set parameter or range of head sizes that you're allowed? Or
there's definitely a range. I used to use 100-inch head size, just slightly bigger, but then it's like I'm not the smartest when it comes to rackets because I kind of just go with what I know. Yeah. But I think I remember when I did the switch from 100 to 98 head, I was so like, no, I'm just going to stick with 100. And I started serving with the 98, and I started just getting more pop on the ball. Yeah. Like just, it had, I don't know if it was just like the head was a bit smaller, so it had less range of the racket. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, tennis players very picky when it comes to rackets, but I'm just like, if I like it, I like it. And then it's like strings as well. There are so many different string types. The only thing that people don't really go wrong with are the grips.
Yeah, really I've noticed they kind of just all look the same, don't they?
I mean, some people want colourful grips, but sometimes it's like if you sweat a lot, the colour comes off in your hand, so I just go with the white grip.
Oh, fair enough. Is that like a custom? Do you customise them, or?
No, I don't I just get what
you can get custom ones.
You can get custom stuff. I mean, some people customise the whole racket. Some people customise the strings. Yeah. I don't know if people customise the grips. I find that a bit weird if they did. Maybe colour them, but yeah, some like pros will customise them and then they won't share what the customisation is. to be top secret.
Mystery.
I'm very mysterious. But yeah, no, I'm just the Yonex Rico girl.
Fair enough. And they've been a proud sponsor of you for quite a while now, haven't they?
Yeah, I've been very grateful to work with them and receive kit from them, and I've never had any faults with their kit as well. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
So in terms of just getting into sport again, I'm going to bring you right back round. Yeah. What would be one like beginner tip for that everyone should know, whether they're getting into a sport and you want to talk a little bit about like mentality, trying to keep yourself consistent with doing something, or whether it's tennis, what would be just like your biggest tip for anybody, whatever lifestyle, whatever age, whatever gender, just to get into a sport? What would it be?
I think if you're gonna get into a sport, tennis is the one, because anyone can play it. Any ability, any age, any person, just anyone can play it, which is what I love about it, and that's why I love nurturing people about tennis, is because if I were to tell my friends that they could play, I'm telling them they can play. Like, they'll all be like, oh no, it's not going to work for me. It's like, just try. Okay, some people maybe they won't have any natural ability for it, but they can hit a ball over the net, or they can but then it's like you've got accessibility for it. So I think the biggest thing with tennis is, if you're going to try it, go for it.
Exactly. Like, you're right about the accessibility too, because
it's so massively accessible, and it's like, okay, if it's not working for you with this size racket, go for a slightly smaller racket or a bigger racket, because like then it's like tennis ball colours, it's like you got red, orange, green, yellow, and it's like, if you don't want a red ball, you can use a sponge ball, and it's like anyone can play it. And then you've got for the visually impaired players, you've got the sponge balls with a bell in, and then you've got wheelchair tennis. And I just love how accessible it is, and how it's becoming accessible every day, more accessible every day. And I just think it's like, compared to other sports, you can adapt. So like when I was doing my coaching courses, they were telling us all how you can adapt a drill to a range of different people. It's like, say I'm working with a group of kids, and this one kid can't hold a racket for whatever reason. You just give them the tennis ball, and they can do the drill with the tennis ball. So it's like, okay, yes, tennis is racket, ball and a court, but not all the time. Like, you can find ways to work around it.
Even if you want something to service back to you, find a wall.
Find a wall. The wall's the best hitting partner, because they never miss. They always come. You can't beat a wall. The most annoying thing about the wall, you can't beat a wall.
But you're right. There's also plenty of tennis courts that have been built around the UK, especially, and there's great accessibility for para, visually impaired, even colourblind. You mentioned there's different coloured balls and stuff like that.
You don't even need a tennis court. It's like, just get on. Sometimes if I can't warm up for a match, I'll just go in the car park and warm up in there.
Fair enough.
It's like,
maybe start whacking the ball against people's cars.
I think the only thing that you do really need is a tennis ball, and those are probably the easiest things to come by.
Fair enough. Wow, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you to everybody who's decided to drop in as well, and I hope to see you all again soon.